big show.
We're the Plotaholics, a breakfast club of two. We're the Plotaholics, ripping plots apart for you. Hey everybody, welcome to what is being billed as another episode of the Plotaholics Live.
Hey-o!
And you'll never guess what? It's been accurately billed.
Yes, for the first time in a long time, we're actually doing the advertised content. Woo!
Well, we do the advertised content every week. We just kind of take our time getting around to it.
That's true. Well, we do hang around.
We do.
Mm-hmm. Damn it! I'm trying to like share and like comment so I can like get people to come in.
Yeah,
and it's making me select the video.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it does do that. That is annoying. I too will do what it is that you're doing, which is share the video. It's also kind of annoying that it will every time make you start watching it if you're not careful.
Yeah, no, and it's like I don't want to hear the background. I don't want to hear that. I don't want the double.
You don't want the double.
I do not want the double. I would like a double tap, but I don't want the double.
Word, yeah. It do be like that. Welcome everybody in to the Plotaholics Live. If you are hanging out with us in the chat, please say hello. Share out to all of your friends and family and co-workers and
your
and
parents,
casual acquaintances and one-time hookups.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody really that you want to talk to,
even your cousin Steve that you don't really get along with too well, but he's a pretty good spades partner at the cookouts.
Bryan, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I am 5 steps away from insanity, and I love it. And yourself?
I've had a pretty rough couple of days. Like it's starting to settle in on me a little bit more the last couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Michelle was here all week the last week and then the weekend, and so then yesterday she went back to work, and she is a healthcare professional, so
yeah.
And I think that it doesn't help that I know that she's on the front lines whenever she leaves, and
she's a warrior.
Absolutely. So it is. Yesterday was a real tough sort of like emotional day, thinking about my folks and not having really anybody to talk to, and just Ivy laying around whining at me the whole time. So today I was still in a little bit of a funk, and I almost like tapped out on you for this, but I was like, no, I think it's important that we reach out to the people. We reach out to each other in these moments, especially whenever we're starting to feel that kind of cabin fever settle in. So here we are, Bryan. I maintain 4 weeks in that this is one of our finest ideas to bring back Plotaholics Live for the duration of our social distancing. And so here we are now. It's a specific kind of challenge for us because there's not a whole lot of entertainment news really going on.
That's what really sucks, because if we were a sports podcast, we would be screwed by now.
Yeah, so at least we've sort of fallen back on older stuff that we can sort of rediscover, and that's been nice. But yeah, if you're a sports podcast, what do you do at this point? I guess you just do like esports.
I think that's what you do. You go and you play like 2K or Madden, and you just watch what's going on in the leagues.
Yeah, right. I legitimately watched the Madden tournament on ESPN the other day.
Did you really?
I did, yeah.
I actually saw a Twitter alert that said that like Joel Embiid got like beat really bad on the 2K tournament. Yeah. It's like, ooh.
Yeah, Michelle was on the Peloton, and she took her headphones out and she goes, "Are they just playing Madden?" And I was like,
"Oh, that's awesome! You guys have a Peloton."
Yeah, so we had been doing and that's the other thing that's sort of been a lifesaver mentally and physically during this is, so we had been doing a little local spin gym had opened up here. Mm-hmm. And I used to do spin classes back in the day and loved them, and I had just never found anything since moving to Fayetteville that really did what I wanted it to do. And so then we got into this class, and then everything shut down. And so we went ahead and got the Peloton here, and it is way on point, man. It's real cool.
See, I used to have
You just got shut out.
I did too. Oh well, the cats don't get to eat. But no, I used to have I used to own stock in Peloton when their stock dropped because people were all like upset about their commercials and everything. Yeah. I bought stock in them, and I said, why do I have stock in this? I'm buying stock in weed, man.
Well, and now their stock is going up.
I know. I should have kept that one share.
They're having a moment for sure.
I should have kept that one share. Oh, man. I am kicking myself. You know, Mr. Deeds was able to do a lot with his one share. And I could have done a lot with one share.
That's right. Talk about a movie that doesn't quite understand what it's about.
It's Mr. Deeds. Oh, my God.
But yeah, so it has been a lifesaver to pop on that bike. It's because it's hard to ignore it. It's sitting in the living room. So we've had it 11 days. It's
easy to become an eyesore.
Yeah, we've had it 11 days, and I've been on it 9 days.
Nice.
So yeah, so it's been, and Michelle's been on it a ton. So it's real solid. I mean, it's an investment for sure, but that's the other thing. I think.
Yeah, that's a down payment for a car.
Yeah, and so I think because of the financial investment, it also means that I'm more likely not to waste it.
No, I hear you.
But yeah, so it's a slick little thing. Ivy, I think, wants to be a part of things.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, she hasn't really been on in a while.
Poison Ivy.
So here's Ivy. Ivy is.
Oh, look at Poison Ivy. She's so sweet.
Yeah. Say hi to the people, Ivy.
Ivy, the whole world, Ivy.
Go sit in the chair. Don't jump out of my arms and crash into something, because that'd make me look like a terrible person. All right. So, not a ton of stuff going on in entertainment news, but some stuff. In fact, the subject of conversation mostly for last week's episode, Tiger King, has been back in the news with
Carol Baskin.
A new bonus episode coming our way soon, Bryan.
I am so excited for a new Tiger King episode. I so want to revisit the Tiger King world. I really do.
So what we know about the new Tiger King episode is that Jeff Lowe has been interviewed, and they've interviewed Joe Exotic again from
Joe prison. Exotic.
Now, as far as we know, Joe Exotic might have COVID-19, Bryan.
Really?
Yeah. So the prison, he's just recently been transported from one prison to the next. And the first prison had cases of coronavirus. And so he's now had to go into isolation in his new prison, and they're sort of monitoring him for it. I don't know if we are positive yet if he has I don't know that he's gotten tested for it or whatever, but they are watching Joe Exotic for coronavirus. They have interviewed Joe Exotic, not since he's been in isolation, obviously, but before that, but after the events of Tiger King. And so so we're getting a new bonus episode of Tiger King in the next week or two.
I am excited. I am very excited because I you know what, call me crazy, but as ridiculously horrible as these people are, I am so excited to find out what's going on. Now, do we know, is it because of Carol Baskin that Joe Exotic has coronavirus?
Now, we don't know, but we are sure that that's what he thinks happened.
Oh, I'm sure she probably slipped him a little bit of sardine oil that was laced with coronavirus. And
now we also do know for sure that Carol Baskins is not returning for future episodes of Tiger King.
I wonder why. Well, because Carol Baskin?
It's not coming back.
That's like saying that was like saying back in 2011, the Patriots are going to the playoffs. I mean, playoffs. I mean, of course she's not going to come back because so much of her dirt got out in these first 7 episodes.
Yeah.
And like now the whole world is talking about it. Like everything about her closet is just open for all of social media. And it's probably costing her a lot of investors, a lot of money, a lot of fans. And it's, of course she's not going to come back. Problem is, Carol, you're out there now. And
Josh checking in, not watching.
Josh Robertson checking in. All right. Yeah. Josh isn't like us. He's not going to subject himself to this. He has enough brains. No. He has brain cells that take him to a higher level.
When I was in high school, I would come home and I would want nothing more than to watch the Maury Povich, Jerry Springer hour.
Yeah, I was all about some Maury.
And so that I feel like is the same sort of train wreck that we're watching with Tiger King. I saw a review of Tiger King, and I wish I could remember who wrote it. I think it was Slate from Slate.com. It said, watching Tiger King is like watching a car accident in slow motion, except then the car accident rolls into a train, and then that train rolls into a jet, and then that jet crashes into a like a steamliner or something, like a ship.
Wow.
And it's just like that, because every episode you're like, well, it can't get any crazier than that.
And it just gets way crazier.
Yeah. So one more episode at least. I don't know what else they'll really do. I mean, there's some different angles that they could take. I want
to know more about the woman who lost her hand. I want to know more about her.
I love how there's so many crazy details in that story. That do you remember how Carol Baskins met met the guy that she murdered?
Yeah, she was like out and about walking the streets. And
do you remember why she was walking the streets?
Yeah, because she got into it with her ex-husband.
Right. And do you know how she got away from him?
I don't remember how.
She threw a potato at his head.
Wow.
Like that's the kind of crazy detail that gets lost in this story because there's so much other crazy shit going on.
I'm serious. Like now here's the thing. We don't know what was going on in the Baskin home of all of that. We don't know, but something's got to be going down if like the first weapon you pick up to chuck is a potato.
Right. But we will not spend a ton of time today talking about Tiger King because it looks like we'll probably be talking about it again next week.
I cannot wait.
So
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, we don't know when that episode is coming, but it is on its way. Now, we have news, Brian, and this is something that I was not even aware was happening. Is this a reboot of Lois and Clark under a new name?
No, it is not a reboot. It is actually going to be a new show featuring Tyler Hoechlin's Superman from the Arrowverse.
Mm-hmm.
So Tyler Hoechlin plays Clark Kent in he's played Clark Kent since season 2 of Supergirl. And he's been involved in the Arrowverse quite a bit in the last few years in their crossover episodes, because as you know, in the Arrowverse, there's always the one big crossover every year that it starts off in the different episodes. And Tyler Hoechlin, I think he's an amazing. I think he does really well as Superman. The man is he's a low key type of actor. Like he's not going to be like this method character thespian along the lines of like a Johnny Depp,
right?
But he does what he does very well. I've been watching Tyler.
So this is gonna still be folded into the Arrowverse. Then.
Correct. This is still an Arrowverse show.
Now, is this going to happen alongside? See, now
they all happen alongside each.
Yeah, the Arrowverse is starting to get a little crowded. How is this going to play into Supergirl? Because don't they both take place in Metropolis?
No, Supergirl's in National City.
Okay.
And so they each have their own city, but they cross over to help each other out.
Yeah.
Well, they needed a new show because Arrow ended after 8 seasons. And what's funny is that Sharon and I we're actually binging the Arrowverse, and we came to the next crossover event, and it's like, holy crap, this isn't going to make sense if we don't watch Supergirl.
Yeah.
So now we're watching Supergirl to get to the crossover event.
Yeah.
So
and also Dylan Walsh has been cast. Do you remember him?
I love Dylan Walsh.
I like him too. Did you watch Nip Tuck back in the day?
I watched a little bit of it. It was on FX, and it was in this weird time where you had to subscribe to FX, but then you didn't have to subscribe to FX. But Dylan Walsh and what was his name? He played Cole in Charmed, and he was also Doctor Doom. Julian, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but that was his co-star of that show. And those two guys, I mean, amazing actors, so they got a really, really good character to play General Lane, which is interesting because we already had a General Lane in Supergirl. So now this is a retcon.
This is either a retcon or it's going to trigger some weird multiverse sort of stuff, or it's just going to create a plot hole.
Well, Barry did screw up the timeline a couple of times, so that could be part of it.
Yeah, we'll
freaking Barry Allen.
Always with that kid.
That guy, he's always up to something. So,
yeah.
But this is cool. So that they've cast Lana Lang, which, for those the uninitiated in DC Comics, Lana Lang is the first love of Clark Kent from Smallville. And if you recall watching Smallville back in the early 2000s, played by Kristen Crook, and she was an important character for a while. So it's very interesting to see what goes on with, now the two loves of Clark's life being involved.
Yeah.
So this is going to be interesting. I'm willing to give it a look because, like I said, Tyler Hoechlin, I think he's a good actor. Yeah. I like him as Clark Kent, and I think he really starts to come into his own as Superman.
Yeah, when you guys get far enough along, when you get to like Crisis on Infinite Earths in your rewatch, you're gonna have to watch Batwoman too.
See, that I don't want to do, but I know I have to. I'm kind of feeling like you just said, the Arrowverse is getting very, very congested. There's so much, because at first, when Black Lightning came out, I was so excited because I always liked black superheroes.
Yeah, I feel like you need 4 at one time.
Yeah, you've got a lot
through, but they've got enough of these shows running out, even without Arrow.
Yeah, because you got Legends of Tomorrow, you have Flash, you have Supergirl. Now you're gonna have Clark and Lois, or Lois and Clark,
and you got Black Lightning still,
and then you got Black Lightning, and now you got Batwoman. This is 6-7 shows here.
And are they all hour long?
Yes. They're all hour long.
You're looking at like a half a day's worth of programming every week from the Arrowverse.
Yeah, whenever we watch, because you figure eliminate commercials is 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So 2 episodes are an hour and a half. So you figure you're giving up like 3 hours just for like one arc. It's
unreal. It is impressive that they're able to do what Marvel has done on a cinematic scale, on a television serial sort of scale, because that's not easy either.
It's not. And I'll tell you something. This is what DC should have been doing with their cinematic universe. Mm-hmm. Instead, they just tried to just rush everything together, and it's cost them. It's cost them dearly, especially now. I mean, there's some other news that I'm sure we'll cover next week as more come out of it, but they're going to have to recast the Flash for the cinematic universe now.
Yeah.
So, DC, they do amazing job with the television, animated and live action. But theatrical, they suck.
Yeah, you may not know this. Is there an architect for their television stuff? Like, is there one story runner for the whole universe?
I'm not 100% sure. That's something that I have to check in with more. I'm sure they have to have someone that sort of oversees all of it.
You would think so.
But I really wish that they would do this with their cinematic universe, because they really dropped the ball with because I thought that Ben Affleck as Batman was good. I liked Ben Affleck I liked him as Batman. I liked Batfleck. But I am curious to see how Robert Pattinson's going to do. I'm very curious. And
they can't decide if they're trying to do an EU, if they're trying to do standalone films, or if they're trying to do 2 different EUs. They
don't know what the hell they're doing.
They don't know what they're doing on the cinematic side of things. So that'll be something to keep
definitely keep our eyes on.
Yeah. Now, a lot of our other news here has to do with television programming as a result of the COVID-19 outbreak. First, as a result of a lot of television shows having to wrap their seasons early, they can't finish filming. So a lot of primetime serials are having to wrap up early. CBS has announced that its Sunday night lineup will now, at least for the 5 weeks of May, include what they are calling a series of classic films. I agree with some. Here's CBS's lineup for May Sunday night Movie Night.
Yes, 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 and okay.
Yeah, Mission
Cool.
Impossible totally feels like
It feels like the odd man out.
Yeah,
It
how
really
did he get
does.
invited to this party?
I know. I mean, come on. You've got the two best Indiana Jones films. Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade are like, those are my absolute favorites.
Yeah, those are excellent films.
Titanic is definitely it's a solid one.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
because
it is a classic film. Like you can't
it's
argue
classic in
with
its
its
own right.
place in cinematic history.
Right. Forrest Gump, yes. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. And then you got Mission Impossible, and it's like, all right.
Well, we do know that all of these films are in the Paramount CBS library, so that's one reason why this is the slate. But they had to have something else that could have gone in the
Instead
Mission
of Mission
Impossible
Impossible,
slot.
yeah. I mean, sorry. I mean, I know there's folks.
I mean, how about Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom? If you're doing two of them, why not do the third one?
Exactly. Shout out to my boy James Wright. The power of Scientology compels you.
Oh yeah, little Davy Marsh is in the mix.
Heyo. But
so,
yeah, this is definitely. I'm sorry. Mission Impossible is like, you're putting together like the Monstar super team, but instead of having like the purple Monstar, you have like Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
It just doesn't fit.
Right.
I mean, seriously, this is almost, you know what this looks like to me? This looks like the 1996 roster of the Chicago Bulls. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Derek Harper, huh? Luke Longley?
Yes.
I agree with David Marsh. Last Crusade is definitely a top 5 film of all time. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, so CBS's lineup is a good Sunday night. I was thinking before when I was putting this together, I was thinking about when I was a kid and Sunday nights were, night at the movie. It was like the Magical World of Disney on ABC,
which was so great.
They were great, yeah. And so this is cool that this is coming back, even though almost all of these movies you can just look at on Netflix or whatever.
Yeah, but there's something about it watching it on network TV. It
and knowing that there's a whole slew of other people out there watching it at the same time and having that same communal experience. There's something magic in that, I think. Yeah,
you want to know what's crazy? I actually downloaded the Netflix Party extension on Chrome the other day, and I wanted to invite either you and Michelle, or maybe even our third Plotaholic or anybody else to do a watch party.
Yeah,
of something on Netflix.
Yeah, I mean that's you. Do you remember when Xbox Live first launched and they had the Netflix app and they had a Netflix party app on there? Yeah. Where you could like all sit in the theater and watch the movies together. That was awesome.
That was cool. I don't know. You know what's funny though is that if they start doing that more wide, they're probably going to start charging extra for it.
Yeah.
Which sucks. But I mean, I think that would be cool. I even like on Facebook where they have a watch party thing on there.
Yeah.
I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, I'm excited for this. I do like it. I like what I believe it was the CBS that was doing the Norman Lear shows, doing those live. Like they had live on the Family, and then live. I know it was on Hulu. So if it wasn't CBS, it was ABC. But I think it was CBS because Norman Lear shows were CBS properties.
They're ABC. That's an ABC project. Yeah.
Oh, it was an ABC project. But I really love what they did with that, where it was old school live studio audience sets for All in the Family, the Jeffersons, and then they did. Like, I didn't like Good Times. I didn't like when they did Good Times. That was when I said, all right, enough's enough. But
yeah, it wasn't good, huh?
It wasn't good. It wasn't a good time with Good Times. It really wasn't.
Well, yeah, so I'm excited about that. Anytime I can watch any of those Indiana Jones movies, the first 3.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
The first 4. Well, yeah, the first 3 are definitely, we won't speak of Crystal Skull.
Right, yeah. We'll talk a little bit about it when we get to our community conversation.
Yeah,
in a little bit.
I'm sure.
But regardless, some other big old school programming coming back news. Sci-Fi offering full series marathons of Xena Warrior Princess and Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, so Dwight K. Schrute is going to be super pumped.
Oh hell yeah!
And I know the 12-year-old boy inside of me is very excited as well.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Woo.
Xena, man. Xena.
She is a warrior princess.
She is. She's a warrior queen.
Yes, she is. Lucy freaking Lawless. I swear. You want to know what's hilarious is that I was watching binging The Simpsons on Disney Plus, and the episode of Treehouse of Horrors where Lucy Lawless was on there as Xena, and the collector captures her with a giant magnet. She goes, attached. Must undo my breastplate. And all the properties are like, oh yeah. She's like, never mind. Like, wait a second. Xena can't fly, but I'm not Xena.
What movie? We've done a movie for the podcast where Lucy Lawless was the voice of the principal over the intercom.
Oh, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Man. No, was that it?
Yeah, I think it was. Give me a nanosecond and I'll look it up. Well,
I thought it was like such a random thing that she was.
Yeah, I believe it was Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay. I mean, maybe you're right.
Let me look up Lucy Lawless herself. I love Lucy Lawless. She's so awesome.
Yeah. So, did you ever watch Battlestar Galactica?
No, I did not, but I do want to.
Yeah, it's pretty widely regarded as good, I guess.
Yeah, I'll tell you something right now. I remember the original Battlestar Galactica. From when I was a kid, and that was absolutely awesome.
Oh, it was Ginger Snaps.
Ginger Snaps, yeah, because I just went to it, and it's like, yeah, I'm not seeing Lucy Lawless anywhere. Yeah, Ginger Snaps, okay.
Yeah, I know it was one of that. I was like, that's so random that Lucy Lawless is in this movie, and
it really
actually not in it at all.
It really is. Like, can you imagine them putting that out there as you imagine them putting it out there as like promotionals? Like, well, we got Lucy Lawless in this.
Yeah, really? That would be like when Godzilla said Bryan Cranston was in it.
Yeah. Or Scream was like, oh, and featuring Drew Barrymore. Yeah, for like a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, so check that out. We have a little bit, Brian, this week of some Stream Wars news.
Okay. Are we going to do what you said we were going to do for this?
Oh, I don't have it written down.
Oh.
I don't know what to put up. I'll just put that up.
Oh, okay.
But this week, Brian, another entry in the arena of Stream Wars.
Yeah, this is it's getting real, man.
I don't know that this is a real challenger. I was always a little hesitant to believe in it, but Quibi is here.
I was going to say, what is Crackle trying to make a real move?
Quibi is in the mix.
What the hell is a Quibi, Shane?
Well, Brian, I know because I wrote an article about it for the Plotaholics.com a while ago. Okay. Quibi is a streaming service made only for your cell phone.
Okay. I am already at a what the hell?
Yeah. It is bite-sized episodes of content. So 10-minute episodes of series. They're bringing back a lot of classics like Singled Out, like Punked, like Reno 911 with the original cast.
Oh, okay. Right.
And so like they've got some interesting stuff going on, but their rollout hasn't been good. Now, one interesting thing about the Quibi sort of behind the curtain stuff is that every major studio in Hollywood has invested in this platform, including Disney and NBC and Paramount and all of these places. So they have a lot of money behind them, and there's something in the business model that these studios like. So it rolled out this week. It has not been well received. Its first day launch, it had 7% of the downloads that Disney Plus had on its launch day.
Damn.
So not a great run. I did bring up the Quibi offerings here. This is what's available as of now in terms of just their original content.
All right, lay it on me.
So Chrissys Core, which is like a weird Judge Judy style Chrissy Teigen vehicle.
Boo. I mean, okay.
Dismantled, which I have no idea what that is.
Dismantled. Hey, is that the black guy from Kimberly Schmidt?
I think it might actually be the black guy from Kimmy Schmidt. Yeah, Titus Burgess. Yeah,
I like him. Why
I do
did they
too.
have to drag him into this?
Well, when you see the names that are here, you'll be, I think, impressed? Question mark.
Impress question
because
mark. I love
because
it.
you've got a little of this action here. This is
Memory hole. That
Will
just sounds
Arnett.
dirty.
Yeah.
You're gonna go into the memory hole.
Now here's a premise that I like is the murder house flip. It's a home renovation show for houses that have had murders happen in them.
That is awesome. I am going to sign up for this 3 month. I'm signing up for this 90-day free trial. I want to see them flip a murder house. I want to see this.
That is the best premise, and I'm angry that it's not on something else.
I wish this was on Hulu. Oh my god.
And then here's the Punked reboot with Chance the Rapper instead of Ashton Kutcher.
But I like Ashton Kutcher.
I did too, but I think
who's Chance the Rapper?
Chance the Rapper is one of Childish Gambino's friends.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess he can be okay with it.
He's like he's a charming dude for sure. Right. He's not as outlandish as Ashton was back in the day, so he's got a different kind of charm.
Ashton Kutcher definitely has mellowed out in the last few
years. He has for sure. And then the Singled Out reboot.
I remember Singled Out.
I do too.
My goodness. Short skirt with
Offset. So it's a car reality show with Offset of the Migos, or of Migos, I guess.
I don't know what that is.
And so these are the shows that are available at launch, and then they also have their daily sort of news shows and whatnot, sort of like Talk Soup type stuff.
Oh, okay. I would seriously just go with the 90-day trial just for the murder house thing.
Yeah,
Sexology. Okay, all right. Sex talk.
And I would wait on the trial just until the Reno 911 reboot is back.
Yeah.
Like, when Reno 911 shows up, then I think we might have something to talk about.
All right. Yeah. All right. So I'll deal with Quibi. Now I know what Quibi means. Quick bites.
Yeah. James Rice says only if Carol Baskin's house is an episode of Murder House Flip. Carol Baskin's Murder
House. All you have to do is just give him a little bit of sardine oil.
Rub a little sardine oil on them.
I almost said salamander juice.
Salamander juice. Band name called it.
Yeah, there you go.
So Quibi's launched. Quick Bites, and it is launched to not very much fanfare, though the commercials have been all over Hulu. So,
I haven't been paying attention. I've been watching Community on Netflix, but I'm not watching Arrowverse.
Speaking of, let's go ahead and dig into how we're making it, or how we're getting through for this week. I'll start. I was tasked this week. Well, Brian, this week we gave each other homework.
Yes, we did. Yes,
and I will tell you that I completed 25% of my homework.
Okay, all right, all right.
Because, and I'll be honest, it's because I got distracted by your homework.
Okay. So you're re-binging.
Yeah, I haven't watched Community in a number of years, and so I've gotten way back into it again, and it's so funny. But it
really is.
I did watch the pilot of The Awesomes this week.
Okay.
And you did also give me Mama's Family. I couldn't find it, but I've watched it before.
Okay. So Mama's Family is hard to come across.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it, and it is excellent. I love those old sitcoms like that. But The Awesomes is like an animated SNL reunion. And it's awesome. I love what I have seen of it so far. This is a Seth Meyers production, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
right?
It is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, and he plays also the Proc, who, as far as I can tell, is the main protagonist, even though it really focuses on this group of heroes.
Yeah, you got Proc, Gadget Gal. Let me see if I remember, because I haven't watched the show in a while.
Yeah,
Proc, Gadget Gal, Tim. Then you have Mysterion and Livewire.
Hotwire.
Yeah, Hotwire. And
Mysterion is Kenny on South Park.
Oh, well, I can't remember what Kenan Thompson's character's name is.
Kenan's name is Impresario.
Impresario, yeah. I love this show because basically, for the uninitiated, the Awesomes were basically the Super Friends.
Yeah.
And Proc's dad is Superman. And when his dad decides he's going to retire, they all quit. But Proc takes over because Proc is like, he's very frail, but he's a super genius. He has like double doctorates and is like a practicing lawyer, but he can also freeze time like Zach Morris. Time out.
Yeah, I mean, none of the ones that they really drum up here are sort of A-listers.
They're all reject superheroes.
Right.
They're all rejects.
But it's really funny. And I think Kenan Thompson is MVP of this thing, man.
He really is.
But I don't think Kenan does anything wrong anyway.
He really did. Kenan Thompson, he has definitely come a long way from Kenan and Kel and all that.
Yeah.
He is one of the most undersung comedy geniuses. Impresario is so great.
I love that
all of his constructs are his mom.
Yeah, because he essentially works like
Green Lantern.
Like Green Lantern, right? So he can sort of summon shapes and stuff, but everything has the face of his mom. And
now
Kenan does the voice.
Careful,
Kenan does the voice of both, right?
Yeah, his mother and him. And
it's so funny when they're interacting with each other. Yeah.
Now my swallow, my baby.
So yes, I am a fan so far of the Awesomes, and I will continue to watch it. It is very funny.
I love it. It's a crime that they canceled it after 2 seasons. It is an absolute crime.
Yeah,
because there were so many stories. And Tim, the little sumo boy. Oh my god.
Bryan, I am remiss. I skipped one news story that I pulled specifically for you.
Oh, you skipped it?
So I have to go back and let you know that they're bringing back remasters of 2 Star Wars games for PS4 and Switch. They're bringing back Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, and Episode 1 Racer.
Nice. I had Episode 1 Racer for the N64.
I did too, and that game was so fun.
That game was fire.
That game is the best thing about the prequels.
It really is. Oh my god. Episode 1 Racer was just so amazing.
Now, Episode 1 Racer on a system that's already built for Mario Kart, like that seems like a winner to me.
That is a victory. That is like, I might actually have to get a Switch now.
We have a Switch, and it is excellent.
Well, see, my son has a Switch, and he's always wanting me to play like Dragon Ball Z games with him. So I think I might have to get it, but then I'll have to get Dragon Ball Z games for the Switch.
Yeah, this is fun.
And Jedi Knight Academy is a pretty fun game as well.
Yeah.
I actually played. I remember playing it on the original Xbox, and I actually downloaded it onto the Xbox One because they had it for Games with Gold. Man, that game was fire.
It was good when it was on Xbox, but do you have this issue whenever you try to play an old original Xbox game on the Xbox One and the graphics are such a steep decline? It's like, oh no.
It's hard. It's hard. I think the only game, it's like that sometimes when I play Knights of the Old Republic, which is like essentially one of the greatest games ever created. Like for me, it's Final Fantasy VII, Knights of the Old Republic.
I think Knights of the Old Republic is on Xbox Live Gold now.
I already own it. I already own the disc. I still have the discs for Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And I think I still have the disc for Fable also, but I have Fable 1, 2, and 3 from Game Pass.
Well, I will be pod racing whenever that comes out. Now, Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy is already out for the Switch. So
remastered and everything. That's awesome.
Yeah. So now we're just waiting on Episode 1 Racer, and I can't wait. Now, what I've been waiting all day for is a chance to nerd out with you in front of all of these people about Community.
Oh my god, I love Community so much. Oh my god, why did I wait so long for this beautiful, deliciously amazing show? What was wrong with me?
How far into it have you gotten?
according to Netflix, I thought I was a lot further along than what I am. According to Netflix, I'm on episode 19.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing, though. They've already gotten into a fight with Anthony Michael Hall and company. So that's where I'm at. And that's what messed me up. Them coming in for a new semester, kind of threw me off.
Oh, right, yeah, because a semester is like half a season.
Yeah. So I am on episode 19 now. So I just finished Family Day.
Nice.
And I almost crapped my pants when Nana instructed Britta to get a Switch and then sat her on her lap and spanked her. I was like, am I supposed to be getting aroused by this, or am I supposed to feel bad for her?
There's so much.
That's so bad. I should have said that.
Abed is an amazing character because he's what gives us so much of the meta narrative and so much of the fourth wall stuff.
Abed is like, everything in this show is comedy gold. Every last inch of this show is
created by the same guy that created Rick and Morty, Dan Harmon.
Oh man, I'm telling you, like, I'm even loving Chevy Chase, and Chevy Chase is an asshole.
Yeah, and he plays to that strength in this show, and that, like, wait until he becomes like the real villain of the show.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
It's so good, and I love Dr. Ken Jeong is so funny.
Ken Jeong is great.
El Tigre. And it is, and I will tell you, as someone who has worked at several community colleges, having a Chinese guy teach Spanish class is the most community college shit I've ever seen.
It really is.
And just this picture of this study group, it's so well put together. Like, this is totally the kind of people that you get at a community college.
This took me back to being in community college myself. This took me back to being at CCAC. Yeah. It really did. And oh my goodness. Like, I'm looking it up right now. Number one, Joel McHale. I didn't know who he was at first, but I remember seeing him everywhere.
He was on Talk Soup.
Yeah, that's where I remember seeing him.
Yeah.
That's where I remember seeing him.
And now he's been on a lot of other stuff since then.
He is amazing.
He's like,
oh my goodness. And Yvette Nicole Brown, I only knew her.
This cast is unreal.
They really are. Like, the Yvette Nicole Brown, though, I really love her as a character because everyone, like, if you went to community college, this was your crew.
Yeah.
There's always a crew like this in a community college. And it's just, like, so amazing. And it was
like the one older person who's like, well, that doesn't sound like fun, but it sounds like it's college-y, so I'll go.
Right. And then you got Ken Jeong, Senior Chang, and what I really enjoyed, though, is, hold on, I'm trying to find her. Allison Brie, as Annie,
the girl from Glow.
Yeah, and what's funny is that at first I'm like, this can't be her. Oh my god, that's her. She looks so young.
Yeah,
but it's amazing what they do with makeup and with costuming to make people, to just change your age.
Because they sort of dull her down a lot in Glow.
They really do, but she like, you can even see some of that showmanship that she brings to Glow in Community. And then, of course, Donald Glover, Childish Gambino,
always like just gold stars.
He really is. Like, this is a guy who, you know what I want right now? I'm actually going to put this out to the universe because I've been good and I deserve it. Dear mighty universe of television viewing that I love so much, and film, you, please, I implore upon you, give me either a television show or a movie starring John Boyega and Donald Glover. If you do that for me, I'll never ask you anything for else. Thank you so much. I love you.
Do you have a premise for that movie?
I don't care, as long as they're in it.
His interactions with Abed are so charming.
I love how I love their best friend dynamic. Yeah. I love the bit of them at the end of every episode. What was the one where the school security shows up in their mirrors and they raise their hands to wave?
Yeah, the tags are so good on this show. I saw one last night where they were doing crossword puzzles and the answers were all the names of the characters.
And then when it was coming up for Jeff, he was like, come on!
You don't see what's happening? It's Beau Bridges.
That was so great. And Sharon kind of looks at me while I'm laughing. I say, he's funny because Beau Bridges is brother to Jeff Bridges.
Right.
She goes, she just looks up. She was like, "Why is it
Oh.
that every time you explain why something is funny, you have to speak in a Russian accent?"
Yeah, that does feel condescending for some reason.
Well, but I'm trying to think, where did I hear it? Oh, from Goon. I've been doing that since we watched Goon. He's funny because beach ball bigger than buck. So now I'm doing that. She just looks at me and shakes her head like, "Why do you do that?"
So I know you've been loving all the Breakfast Club references.
Yes. Oh my God. It was everything. You know what? Everything about this show is beyond gold star. And I'll tell you right now, I was ready to build a shrine to Shane Wilson for pushing me to watch this show. But there was one thing that stopped you from getting the shrine.
Let's get into it.
The Plotaholics, many reviews on the floor. Yeah,
this week, Bryan and I, this week I got drunk and watched Coffee and Kareem and thought that Bryan might like it.
They pulled pure Andy Bernard into this.
I like
the
sentence. They poured Andy Bernard into this way better.
They poured him in. I mean, oh my God. And poor David Allen Greer too.
So I want to say also your girl from Glow.
Yeah, my home girl from Glow that Annie slept with her husband.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's her name? Betty Gilpin.
Is that her real name?
Yeah, Betty Gilpin.
Gilpin. How unfortunate.
You're a Gilpin.
You're Gilpin. So I would like to say I've been
Taraji B. Henson as well. Why'd they have to pull her into this?
I've been thinking a lot about this movie since we've talked about it over the weekend. I didn't want to say anything else to you over the messages.
Yeah.
I didn't think that this was a great movie.
This movie pissed me off.
I know it did. And I think that we had different I would say relationships with this movie for one reason. Okay. And that reason is that you have children.
Yeah, I have a kid. Yeah.
And I think that the fact that you have a kid changes the way that you interact with this movie. Because I don't have a kid. Now, I thought he was a piece of shit for sure, but it didn't take me out of it like I think it did you.
I would have punched this pudgy little bastard until he had a six-pack. I would have hit him so hard that he would have had an afro and like, oh my God. You've seen Ted, right?
The Plotaholics does not condone the abuse of minors.
I swear to God, just like in Ted, when Mark Wahlberg punches that kid in the face when he's charging him, that's what I would have done to this kid. Oh my God. This kid was...
The kid, yeah, he was horrible. Absolutely he was. It didn't take me out of the movie though. Also, I just didn't think that the movie was that great. Like I had a very similar I had a similar relationship to this movie as I did to Weird Science. Like it was a fun ride, but there was a lot wrong with it. You know what I mean?
There's more than a lot wrong. This is why Netflix ain't allowed to be doing original content.
Honestly, this movie only exists because of the people in it.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. Now, when I say Netflix isn't allowed to do original content, obviously I'm being facetious because they come up with great television shows and they have had good things that I like. This ain't
Always
one of them.
Maybe.
Always Be My Maybe is probably the greatest original film that they have put out.
Other I think you'd have to say The Irishman probably just for scope and.
No, like I know what I said. I meant what I said.
I said what I said. I
said.
think I probably agree with you. I think The Irishman is probably really boring. So
I hated you know what? Here's my issue with The Irishman. There is no way in hell you gonna convince me that the de-aging on Robert De Niro made him look. Oh, I'm sorry. We're gonna take the 75-year-old man and make him look like he's 50. Yeah, that's believable. He's supposed to be in his 20s, and Joe Pesci calling him a kid.
That's like taking Emperor Palpatine and throwing him in the dryer to get the wrinkles out.
Exactly. It was horrible. And it was boring. I mean, it was cool. I mean, I thought it was interesting, but it's like, come on, Scorsese. I understand that you
hire somebody new, right?
Yes.
especially if you spend all of your extracurricular time slamming the MCU for making the same movie over and over again. Stop making the same movie over and over again with the same people.
Exactly. You know what? Here's an idea. If you want someone to play the Irishman, here's an idea. If you're going to
Can we make a movie called The Irish Guy?
There you go.
You remember when we were making movies, when we were pitching movies that were like really similar to other movies?
Yes. The Irish Guy. He kills a man. What's his name? Billy Haffa. Yeah. No, here's the thing. If you're going to be Martin Scorsese and put the same people in every freaking movie that you do, here's an idea. Why don't you have Leonardo DiCaprio as the titular Irishman? It's cheaper to age him than it is to de-age a 975-year-old freaking that guy. I'm so mad I can't even think of names right now. Oh, why did you do this?
Bobby B.
Oh, why did you have to do that to Robert De Niro? Just have Leonardo DiCaprio do the role. It would be believable. And when he's whooping someone's ass, he doesn't look like he's about to break a hip because he lifted his foot 5 inches off the damn ground. Okay? And if you're going to trash talk my MCU, sir, why don't you cast better? Okay? You did a horrible job.
I legitimately thought you were about to start singing. I thought you were going, if you're going to smack talk my MCU, well, why don't you?
Well, why don't you cast better in your shows? Hey, I was bringing out my preacher voice. You're going to sonic me on that? Come on. But yeah, Coffee and Kareem, man. Oh my God. Like seriously. Now, number one, I love Andy Bernard. Ed Helms, I love him.
Ed Helms is Andy Bernard to me, too.
He is. But that mustache, I mean, I understand it's part of the gag because he looks like a child molester. Cool.
Well, also part of what makes this movie really bad is that it doesn't even try to.
It doesn't try to do anything right. It just does it. There's no way in hell I'm going to believe that Ed Helms is tapping to Taraji P. Henson.
You're having a hard time with names today.
I am, man. I really am. I don't know what's wrong.
Taraji.
Menagerie.
I don't even know her real name. Taraji
P. Henson.
Yeah.
Why are you gonna bring Miss Sherry into this?
I think that Taraji P. Henson was the road that Finding Nemo lived on.
Oh, okay, cool.
Taraji P. Henson, Wallaby Way.
Oh, okay, that makes. Well, I thought that was the road that SpongeBob lived on.
No, he lives. Wait, I don't know where he lives.
Bikini Bottoms?
I don't know, but this whole episode is turning into a kangaroo court.
It really is. The bottom line is, how am I supposed to believe that Ed Helms is nailing Taraji P. Henson?
Yeah, well, what I was going to say is that every stereotype and cliche that you can think of for a cop movie,
they're all there.
They're all here, and they're all here exactly the way that you would expect them to be. There's no subversion of expectations here or anything like that. Yeah,
it's almost like they tried to remake 48 Hours with teen angst and no racism.
Well,
and it was a horrible. Number one, again, it is like one thing that I like in movies, even the most ridiculous, is that I would like some believability.
Yeah, well,
Ed Helms ain't nailing her.
The most likely. The most likable characters in this movie are the bad guys.
Yes, those drug dealers are the people that I like. Like they are funny.
Yeah, they were funny, and I was pulling for them the whole time.
I really was, but like even the death scenes became so gratuitous.
Yeah,
like, and then Ed Helms is just getting destroyed throughout this movie. Like she runs over his foot. I mean, my God, like this movie just.
It was not kind to the Nard dog.
No, not at all. This movie just went. It was like, all right, we're gonna put our train on the ridiculous track. Yeah. We are gonna scare away Dementors with this.
I think that's what I was looking for on a Saturday night. You know, so
man. When you get drunk, you watch some weird shit.
That is true all around in every single way.
Stay away from this movie, please.
I will be watching a lot of sci-fi while I'm drunk in the coming days. If you know what I'm saying,
I can't wait to see you in a metal breastplate giving a Xena warrior princess drunken review.
Just wait until you see the next drunk review.
I can't wait. I love your drunk reviews.
I can't even remember the name of the movie.
I can't. I don't know if I could do a drunk review because I get drunk on beer.
Right.
And I would have to drink a lot of beers. Like 1 6-pack isn't going to do it. I'm going to have to suck down like 2 6-packs.
I have to get, there's a sweet spot for me on those that I have to get to. And I have to get there right as the movie is over. Right. Like I can't peek out during the movie. So like, I like coast for a while and I sort of get on the bubble and then I do a shot right before I start recording. And
he has a whole alcohol.
Yeah. But look, I realized the last time I recorded one, what makes them so funny is that I'm terrible at names. I never remember anybody's names. And that's not just a cat thing.
Judy Dench.
Yeah, that's not just a cat's thing. Like this last movie we watched had Jesse Eisenberg, Kristen Stewart, Topher Grace, and Connie Britton in it. And the whole time.
Klansman? Wait, wrong movie. I thought you were talking about Black Klansman. Then I was like, oh wait.
And the whole
Jesse
time
Eisenberg wasn't in
I called them Lex Luthor, Bella Swan, Miss Coach Taylor, and Eric Foreman.
You are your characters. You are your characters. That's all there. So it's like if you ever met Tom Holland, hey, Pete Parker, how's it going, penis?
Right. Yeah, but this movie that I watched this weekend was very good and entertaining. Yeah, big fans in the comments of drunken reviews.
Oh yeah, man. Honestly, I wanted to try to do it too. I'm not even gonna try. That's a Shane Wilson thing. I'm not gonna try.
Well, I have one for Frozen.
I'll try to steal your thunder and end up going to the hospital with alcohol poisoning.
I have one for Frozen 2, but it's just like Frozen 2 was almost too good. But I did call the Kingdom of Frozen 2 Anarfell the whole time. Shout out to Josh Robertson. Anarfell. So you can look, maybe I'll edit one of those tomorrow and put it together.
See, I want to do a review. You know what I need to do? If you're going to do a drunken review, I have to find movies that make me angry. Just angry enough to
I like
rant.
Angry reviews.
Yeah. And then because Coffee and Kareem, and I understand the wordplay of the title. Coffee and Kareem. Yeah. Okay. Oh God. Like, why? Like, what do people when people are shooting movies like this, do they think this is going to be cinematic gold?
No, like, they don't think that. They think it's going to.
You're in Troll too. There's no way.
It's a payday. Like, you know, like something like Coffee and Kareem is gonna function just fine on Netflix. Like, it's going to be a movie that a bunch of people are going to put on and watch and may or may not like, but they're gonna make money off of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's true. And I guess Miss P. Henson, because I'm butchering her name today.
Paharashi.
Yeah. Kamikaze. Menasha, Carol Baskin. Menage a Trois. I mean, I realized though too is that she probably needs something to do while they were waiting to film the last season of Empire. She's
probably looking for something to do other than Tyler Perry movies once Empire's over.
That's and what's weird is that she is such a great actress.
Yeah.
That like she's another one that she deserves way more credit and respect, and she should be getting some much better roles than what
it's one of those things that you're right. Like it happens to so many great actors and actresses that get saddled on a TV show like that.
They either get typecast to film roles or they get TV roles, and then they just do anything else to get away from it.
Try to break out of that. The one performer that I would say has done a really good job of reinventing himself has been Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah. Did you hear that a lot of people are like, there are actually some people that want him to play Wolverine in the MCU?
I could maybe get on board with that.
Yeah, because he's short. He's only like what, 5'6"?
Yeah. And
he wears a beard very well.
Yeah.
And he can do pissed off, man.
Yeah, and he's put enough distance between him and Harry Potter, and he didn't go crazy trying to do it.
Right. I feel bad. Like Tom Felton tried really hard to sort of get himself away, and he did some spots on The Flash and but all of his characters, like he keeps getting pulled into that Malfoy thing where he plays those Weasley ass villains. Like if you watch Rise of the Planet of the Apes, his character is very Malfoy-ish, you know, and but you know, God bless, you know, but yeah, I think that Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson both have done an amazing job distancing themselves from Harry Potter. And even Rupert Grint, I mean, he's not doing anything main, but he's doing a lot of indie work, and it's looking really, really good.
Yeah, and we're about to see if Robert Pattinson can make the final transformation, you know?
Oh, he can do it. He's so talented.
I agree with you. And he's been working really hard over these last years to put distance between him and Edward Cullen. And I think that if the Batman can be made, that'll be his final, that's like his Pokemon final evolution, you know?
I think so too.
His final form.
But real quick, because I know we're right up against it. What did you think when they revealed the Batmobile? What did you think?
Oh, so like I like a lot of the stuff that they're revealing. Like a lot of like year one stuff, like they're sort of like making him younger again, and he's just kind of getting started out. I like that.
I do too. I like the fact that it looks like, I like the fact that the Batmobile is going to be a car that's actually in reality-ish, because you figure we got
a little bit like the OG like Batman 1954 or whatever.
69. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, if I were going to have a Batmobile, if I were going to have a badass tan mobile, it would be a 69 Dodge Charger, or it would be a 64 Chevy Impala.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just all there is to it. And I think it's amazing because I'm sorry, a military urban assault vehicle as the Batmobile, that just doesn't look practical. And filling that thing up with gas, and filling that thing up with gas is gonna suck.
Yeah, I did like that a lot though.
I mean, yeah, the Tumbler was cool. It was cool for what it was, but I like that he's gonna have something sort of sleek and muscle car-ish. You know, maybe
I'm into it. Yeah, and that's you know, that's one of the stories that we didn't really get to talk because we weren't doing this then. Was all of the reveals for the Batman, which is sounding like it's going to be a great movie.
I don't care what anyone says. I'm excited. It looks good. I'm
excited too. Maybe we dig into that next week a little bit.
I think that's a good idea. We'll get some of the old info on the Batman and see what's going to be what with it. And I think it's great. And honestly, I think it's a good idea that they're going to keep Joaquin Phoenix's Arthur Fleck Joker sort of distanced. I think that's another great idea. That's an amazing idea.
Yep. All right. Well, that I think is going to just about do it. Everybody who stuck with us, thank you so much. You can see all of our information at the bottom of the screen. Check us out at plotaholics.com for the Plotaholics podcast. We just put up Weird Science this week, so that's very good.
We kind of got in trouble for that too.
A little bit. We got a little slap on the wrist, but I think that it was all in jest.
Yeah, it was all in jest, and it was still a good time to be had.
Yeah.
And
but regardless, you know, if like I said to that commenter, that is the beauty of what we do, right? Like if we wanted everybody to agree with us, there would be no fun in doing a review show, you know?
Absolutely. You know what? I've actually been thinking about like just trashing really great movies just to piss people off. Like, hey,
I don't want to become the Trollaholics.
That's true. Hey, we're going to do The Godfather. This was the worst movie ever created.
None of these people were even godfathers. Like there was one godfather in this whole movie.
Yeah. And why wasn't he throwing lightning bolts if he's God? What the hell?
What? Okay, Godfather. What about Holy Spirit?
Frito-Lay.
All right. Well, that is going to just about do it for us for this edition of the Plotaholics Live. We will see you back here next week and into the perpetual future for as long as this lockdown keeps us inside.
Yeah.
We're the Plotaholics. A breakfast club of two. We're the Plotaholics. Ripping plots apart for you.